and I hope this moment finds you in the very best of health and spirits. As I'm recording this video, the rapper DMX is still in grave condition in the hospital, and I just want to send up prayer and best wishes for him for a good recovery and for his family to keep the faith and support him in every way that they can. Well, as we know, we African American people are under attack all the time. If it's not black men, it's black women. If it's not black men attacking black women, it's black women attacking black men. If it's not us attacking each other, then other races get in the mix and start attacking us too. So we have to stay diligent and to always be on our game, because we are still under the persecution of that Ham lie. And that makes us easy targets for everybody, including each other. So we have to really stay on it. We have to stay on our game. And for those who understand the system and are not defeated by it, but push through to achieve great things, those members of our community deserve to be applauded. So today's topic is black women that are getting it right, and I'm going to introduce you to 7 black women or groups of women that are getting it right. Well, the first group of women that I think are getting it right are the African American news anchors who are wearing their natural hair or protective hairstyles. We know what a struggle it has been to be able to say to the world, this is our natural hair, and not resort back to heating and perming and damaging our natural hair so that when we do want to wear it, it's in such terrible shape that we don't know how to fix it. There is nothing wrong with wearing a weave or a wig or pressing curl or permed hairstyle, but it should be done because that's what you want to do. It should not be done because you're ashamed of your hair or somebody has made you feel like there's something wrong with it. Natural hair is beautiful, and I applaud these young women for standing on their right to be who they are, because their hair is beautiful and they're beautiful. And another thing I want to say, I hear African American women on social media talking about high value men not liking natural hair. Well, if you're dealing with a man and he doesn't like your hair, already you know that man is not right for you. Let him move on with somebody who has a hair type that he likes, because if that's where he has placed his value, the script is already written for any kind of relationship that he's going to have. The beginning, the middle, and the end. If a man cannot see value or beauty in a woman who looks like him, then he really is not worth your time, and he is not high value. The next woman that got it right, a single woman, is Cheryl Underwood. I think we all witnessed that fiasco, if not in real time, then we saw snippets of it, where she was basically under a racist attack by a woman who entitled and privileged and who challenged her thinking about what racism is. And we have yet to convince people that you don't get to say what racism is for me, what I consider racism. But Cheryl Underwood handled herself so beautifully that I think we could all be proud. It was hard to watch, to see this woman sitting there trying to defend Piers Morgan, who has been trashing Meghan Markle for 3 years. And she's going to sit there and defend him, and then going to get mad because people see racism in him and her. Then she's going to have the audacity to attack Cheryl Underwood. And then when Cheryl Underwood was not able to reason with her and teared up, she's going to tell her, don't you cry. I ought to be crying. How arrogant is that? Well, Cheryl Underwood handled herself beautifully. And she made black women look good, because that would have been a perfect example where she could have gone off. And then she would have been the story. The angry black woman would have been the story. I've known Cheryl Underwood to have a potty mouth, but this time she really held it together, and she did a really good job of showing what class looks like. The next 2 women of inspiration are Ashley Scott and Renee Walters. They brought together 17 African American families to buy 96.7 acres of land in Wilkinson County, Georgia, to build a black town. Ashley Scott says that the Freedom Georgia initiative is paving the way for Black Americans to work together to build and cultivate their own communities. The process will also create a number of jobs, she says, and they have committed to prioritizing Black-owned, women-owned, and veteran-owned contractors and vendors as they complete the development of their town. The Freedom Georgia initiative hopes to build generational wealth, which is what we keep talking about, establish homesteads and planned neighborhoods. They hope to build vacation homes and other outdoor amenities. This initiative wants to create a safe haven for Black families and their allies. And I say, hallelujah. And with this, I think it's time for a praise break. The next Black women of inspiration are those women that worked on the advisory council of Goldman Sachs to procure the $10 billion pledge to Black women. The initiative is called 1 Million Black Women, and it will focus on areas of access to capital, job creation, financial health, and workforce advancement. The program's goal is to positively impact the lives of at least 1 million Black women by 2030. In conjunction with this announcement, Goldman Sachs has released a report called Black Womenomics, and they are seeking to quantify the gender and racial biases that Black women have faced and continue to face. Their research found that Black women are paid 35% less than white men. Reducing this gap could create between 1.2 million and 1.7 million jobs in the United States. This is a win for Black women because in the Black community we continue to work and work and work, and then we see when we do gain wealth that is often pulled out of the community when African Americans marry into other races, increasing their financial stability but decreasing ours. So these women deserve applause, and we thank them for the community uplift. One awesome and brilliant lady that is getting it right, and as we say in the Black church, she's wearing two hats, and that is Dr. Glenda Glover. She is the international president of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated, my sorority, and she is the president of Tennessee State University, the 7th largest historically Black university in the United States. She has brought vision and leadership to our sorority. One of her financial goals was for us to have once-a-year fundraisers in which we raise $1 million in a 24-hour period, which we have always exceeded. And the purpose is to donate this money to HBCUs to help stabilize them and to add to their scholarship fund. As president of Tennessee State University, she has advanced a 5-point vision that includes academic progress and customer service, fundraising, which she's good at with lots of experience, partnerships with local and national organizations, diversity and inclusion, shared governance, and community outreach. Dr. Glover is an outstanding, brilliant, and energetic leader, and she deserves applause every day. The next woman of inspiration is someone I had not heard of until I started doing this research. She is Nikki Davis, and she is the major stockholder of the 11th largest Black-owned bank in the United States, as well as the founder and president of the Don Davis Legacy Foundation. She was married to Don Davis, a successful musician and producer who began his career at Motown. As a producer, he worked with some of the best in the business: Aretha Franklin, Johnny Taylor, George Clinton in Parliament, Burt Bacharach, and Billy Davis and Marilyn McCoo. In 1980, he became the primary stockholder in First Independence Bank. He was the first African American to own a bank in Michigan, and he was able to reverse the declining fortunes of the bank. He ran the bank successfully for 30 years, but in 2014 he passed away, and his wife, Nikki Kiko Davis, became the primary stockholder. In addition to being the primary stockholder of the bank, she established the Don Davis Legacy Foundation, she says, to preserve his legacy and to continue to spread prosperity to underserved communities. We appreciate Nikki Davis for spreading prosperity to the underserved Detroit community and for continuing her husband's legacy of philanthropy. The last lady of inspiration for this particular segment is Beatrice Dixon, the founder and CEO of the world's first plant-based feminine care line called the Honey Pot. The Honey Pot is a chemical-free feminine care system that cleanses, protects, and balances your private feminine area. The formula for these products was created by Beatrice Dixon herself, who struggled with bacterial infections and vaginosis. She tells an interesting story of struggling with her own vaginosis and not being able to find products that worked effectively. She said one night her late grandmother appeared in her sleep with the idea to create her own natural remedy. She told her what ingredients to get. The next day she went to the store, got those ingredients, and made her own natural wash, and it worked. She started selling it to friends, eventually ended up at a hair show in Atlanta selling her products, and she said she sold out, and I bet she did. From there, she ended up in several retail stores, and now the Honey Pot is a nationally known brand. So she sort of stirred some controversy in 2020 when she did a Target commercial called Founders We Believe In, and she spoke about how difficult it was for her to start her line of feminine products. And so she said the reason why it's so important for Honey Pot to do well is so that the next black girl that comes up with a great idea can have a better opportunity. That means a lot to me. Well, some people took exception to the idea that she said the next black girl, and so a swarm of people left negative reviews for the company. People who hadn't even used the product gave it a 1-star review and accused Target of discriminating against white people. They even called for a boycott of Target. But her supporters got wind of it, and they took to social media and asked people to just flood Target with positive reviews, and that's what they did. And then people rushed in and bought out all of her products all over. Target sold out, Whole Foods sold out, and Bed Bath & Beyond sold out. So the positive reviews and the response of her customers outweighed what the haters were trying to do. Her products are highly recommended, and her company continues to thrive. So these are African American women who are getting it right, and they are getting it right on a number of levels, whether it's business, education, philanthropy, whether it's just putting out a persona, as Cheryl Underwood did, that says, I don't have to be the angry black woman. I can carry myself with dignity and class, articulate my point of view without falling apart, without yelling or making a spectacle of myself. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you in my next video.